What's up, fight fans? We have a badass card. The main event. Robert Whittaker is taking on the up-and-coming former one championship holder, Rainier the Ritter. This is a badass fight, you guys. Why is UFC Fight Night Abu Dhabi better than the pay-per-views coming up this summer? Can someone please explain that to me? Like, honestly. Why? We all know why. We know why. It's because it's in Abu Dhabi and not America. That's the reason. This is a... Before I... This by the way, this came out right after I finished recording my last video, which I just uploaded, by the way. And this came out, and I saw this, and I'm like, I gotta... This tipped me over the edge. Honestly, it tipped me over the edge. This is a really good card. I rate this card highly. This is a very good card as a fight night. This is such a good fight night card. If this was a pay-per-view, that would be amazing also. Let's see. Ready? Robert Whittaker versus Rainier the Ritter. Amazing fight. Movsar Evelev versus Aaron Pico. I'll get to that in a second. Fuck that fight, but I'll get that to in a second. Still a good fight, though. Petr Yan versus Marcus McGee. I don't like the... I don't like him fighting down the rankings, but we all knew this was coming, so good fight. Petr Yan as a feature fight in a fight night. In a fight night. And then Bryce Mitchell versus Said Nurmagomedov as the fourth fight of a fight night. Shera Magomedov versus Marc-Andre Barriault as the main card opener. Nikita Krylov versus Bogdan Guskov as the sixth fight on a fight night. This is such a good card. This is such a good card. But it...
What's up, everybody?
Sorry. This is such a good card. I'm trying to see the comments. It won't show me the comments. But this is such a good fucking card for a fight night. This is an amazing card. But why is Petr Yan a feature fight on a fight night, but for UFC 318, we get Neil Magny versus Gunnar Nelson? Can someone please explain that to me? Can someone explain to me why we get Neil Magny versus Gunnar Nelson as a feature fight on a pay-per-view in Louisiana for Dustin Poirier's retirement card in July, but we get Petr Yan versus Marcus McGee as the feature fight for a fucking fight night in Abu Dhabi, bro? God, this pisses me off. I'm sick of this shit, man. They don't care about us anymore. They don't care about us anymore. They only care about oil money. Everyone's thinking it. It's the oil money. Turkey Al-Sheikh and whoever is like in Abu Dhabi. Turkey Al-Sheikh, every time they go to Saudi Arabia, banger cards. Every time they go to Abu Dhabi, banger cards. Let's not forget UFC 308. That card, Topuria versus Holloway. Topuria versus Holloway, main eventing in Abu Dhabi. Co-main event, Khamzat Chimaev versus Robert Whittaker. Khamzat Chimaev versus Robert Whittaker as a co-main event. And then it was Alexander Rakic versus Magomed Ankalaev. But Cyril Gane versus Alexander Volkov was originally announced for that card, but they moved it to December. Those were the first four fights for a pay-per-view in Abu Dhabi. Now, let's go to UFC 318. Let's see the first four. Oh, it's a pay-per-view for Dustin Poirier's retirement card, right? It's Dustin Poirier's retirement card. Oh, this better be a stacked pay-per-view. This better be a super stacked pay-per-view for the fans, And I just talked about this in the last video. Let's see. Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier. Sick. I mean, doesn't make sense, but I will watch it because I'm a fight fan. I will watch it, okay? Co-main event. Do you see how far that just dropped? We went from Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier, which is not even worthy of a main event of a pay-per-view, but I'm not complaining, to Marvin Vettori versus Brendan Allen as a co-main event in 2025. Okay? And then we get to Neil Magny versus Gunnar Nelson, man. Come on. Why is Petr Yan a feature fight for a fight night, but Neil Magny versus Gunnar Nelson is a feature fight for a pay-per-view? This makes no sense. And get this stupid UFC BJJ road to... No one is watching this shit at the bottom of the screen. God, that pisses me off even more. Promoting fucking, I don't know, man. I don't even know what to say. God, I can't even think. Adam Fugit versus Islam Dulatov as a fourth fight of a pay-per-view. Oh my God. Mind you, for fight night, we have Bryce Mitchell versus Saeed Nurmagomedov for the 4th fight. But for UFC 318, we have to get, dude, how can you complain about Adam Fugitt versus Islam Dulatov, man? That's a good fight. You know, that's what the hardcores want. This is an amazing fight, you man. What are you talking about? No, it's not, man. No one wants to pay $80 for this fucking fight. Nobody. God, it's pissing me off. And then we get this for free because it's in Abu Dhabi. This fight night would never happen if it took place anywhere else in the world. If this took place in Europe, if this took place anywhere in America, in Las Vegas, in fucking Los Angeles, Atlanta, wherever, if this took place in Chicago, this would never happen because they don't care about the American or European cards. The only cards they care about and that they care about stacking is the cards where Turki Al-Sheikh and all these oil princes give them so much money to make these type of cards. So good luck from now on. Every good card you're going to see from now on is going to be in either Abu Dhabi or Saudi Arabia. No more good cards in America. No more good cards in Europe. No more good cards ever. Okay? No more good cards in Australia. Australian fans, say goodbye to good cards in Sydney or Perth or Melbourne, wherever they fucking want it. Say goodbye to those cards. American fans, we don't get good cards anymore. You want me to show you? The next 3 pay-per-views are in Las Vegas, International Fight Week, by the way. International Fight Week. The biggest pay-per-view of the year, International Fight Week, is coming up in a week and a half, next Saturday. And that should be the most stacked card of the year. It's International Fight Week, IFW, is known as the most stacked card of the year, man. There's going to be banger after banger fights. You know, the prelims are going to have fucking... Yuri Prochazka's going to be... I'm just kidding. Yuri Prochazka's not going to be in the prelims. But you know what I'm saying. Let's take a look at UFC 317. Topuria versus Oliveira. Sick main event. Looking forward to this one a lot. Don't get me wrong. I'm looking forward to this main event. And that's an International Fight Week worthy main event. Co-main event. Oh, let's just throw a flyweight title fight. Oh yeah, Alexander Pantoja. Have him fight every June and December. That's literally what happens now. Have him fight every June and December, and we'll give him Kai Kora France or Steve Urseg or fucking get this UFC fucking BJJ off my screen, man. God. Anyway, Alexander Pantoja. Oh yeah, just give him Kai Kora France. Give him Kai Asakura. Give him Brandon Royval. Give him Steve Urseg. You know, every December and every June, you'll just see this guy on the pay-per-view. Okay, it's just how it's gonna go. Okay, so I'm looking forward to this fight. Don't get me wrong. I'm looking forward to this fight. But why couldn't we get a fucking Piotr versus Marcus McGee or Robert Whittaker versus Reino de Ritter or Movsar Evloev versus Aaron Pico? You know what? Now that I'm here, let's talk about Movsar Evloev versus Aaron Pico. Undefeated Movsar Evloev. Movsar Evloev's last 2 fights, he beat Arnold Allen, and then he beat Aljamain Sterling. He's undefeated. Everyone else that's top 5 in the featherweight rankings has fought for a title before or is coming off a 1-fight win streak. Movsar Evloev, instead of getting a title shot, which he's been asking for, which Volk has been asking for, and more importantly, which the fans have been asking for, is now fighting another Bellator hick who comes from Bellator, who is going to get smoked in his UFC debut because that's what happens nowadays. I'm going to tell you right now, Aaron Pico is getting smoked by Movsar Evloev by a unanimous decision. We all know this is happening. We all know this is going to happen. Let's look at the former... Patricio Pitbull got beaten by Yair Rodriguez, who... Hold on. If Movsar Evloev is fighting right now, that means only one thing, and it's Yair Rodriguez is getting the fucking title shot, man. Yair Rodriguez is getting a title shot. Let's look at Yair Rodriguez's last 4 fights. Are you ready for this? His last 4 fights. He beat Josh Emmett by decision as a co-main event for the interim championship on the Islam versus Volk 1 card in 2023. Okay? fluke, not a fluke, Mickey Mouse interim championship bout. Who cares? You know, it's a clear contender for Volk when he comes back to featherweight. Okay, Yair Rodriguez wins. So he's the interim champion. In June, Volk comes back to featherweight. He destroys Yair Rodriguez, grounds and pounds him. Wasn't even a close fight. Okay, that added to Volk's legacy. He gets a new name on his record, on his resume, right? Literally 8 months later, not 8 months, 8 months later in February, Yair Rodriguez gets submitted in the co-main event of UFC Mexico by Brian Ortega. He gets arm triangled by one-legged Brian Ortega, if you know, you know. Okay? Then he comes back 1 year and 2 months later, in April, fights a washed 40-year-old Bellator Hick and Patricio Pitbull, beats him by decision in a boring fight that no one was looking forward to in the first place, and is now going to get a title shot because who else would it be? Merab's not moving up. We know that for a fact. Merab does not want to fight Volk. Brian Ortega obviously can't get the title shot. They can't run back Diego Lopez. He just got the title shot and lost to Volk. Toporia's moving up. Holloway's moving up. Who's next? Lerone Murphy? We already know it's going to be Yair Rodriguez. And if I see Dana White's
what's up, everybody?
Ass head like this, if I see this video and he says, "What's up, fight fans? Today we have a banger fight in Yair Rodriguez versus Alexander Volkanovski." If I see that, I am going to scorch earth. This is fucking stupid, man. This is stupid. Anyway, Movsar Evloev versus Aaron Pico. It's a good fight. I'm looking forward to seeing Movsar Evloev fight. I'm rooting for Movsar Evloev so much, dude. If I want Movsar Evloev to fucking go in there and submit Aaron Pico in round 1. Get these Bellator Hicks off the UFC, man. Get them off the UFC. No one cares about them. The last Bellator, Patricio Pitbull, Bellator champion, demolished. Who just Patchy Mix literally got fucking outclassed by the terrorist of the sport and Mario Batista. Michael Chandler doesn't mean shit nowadays. Michael Chandler sucks. Okay? And then we get Petr Yan versus Marcus McGee as a feature fight of a fight night. When Neil Magny versus fucking Gunnar Nelson is a feature fight. When we have Beneil Dariush versus Hanato Mikano. Sick fight. Not as good as Petr Yan. And then we have, who's the feature fight? Gerald Meerschaert versus Michael Olajuwon. I can't even say his fucking last name because no one cares about him, man. Fuck. I'm sick of this shit, man. No one cares about this fucking shit. No one cares about Gerald Meerschaert, who just lost his last fight to Michael Michael. I'm just going to call him Michael because I can't even fucking pronounce his last name, man. I know who he is. And then we have Edson Barboza versus Dakar Close as a 4th fight on a main card of a pay-per-view. And then Bobby Green is going to get knocked out again versus Diogo Ferreira. And then we get Corinne Silva. Oh, boy, you can't... Bro, JJ Aldrich is a badass fighter, man. You can... Oh, no, this is so many good fights. You can't complain about this. Oh... God, man, this pisses me off, dude. Why does Abu Dhabi get this shit and Chicago can't? And Vegas can't. And New Orleans can't. Or, you know what I mean? Brian Battle versus Ruziboyev. Sick fight. Put them in other fight nights. Okay? I don't want to get... I'm being honest. Robert Whittaker versus Rainer de Ruyter. I'm okay with that as a main event. But, like, put Gerald Meerschaert versus whoever the... Michael something... on this card and take Petr Yan versus Marcus McGee and then move that to UFC 319, man. Are you, like, I'm being serious. Move Movsar Evloev to UFC 318, man. Move Bryce Mitchell, who's from Arkansas, to UFC 318, okay? Oh, but no, he has to fight Nurmagomedov, you know? I don't care, man. We already know Saeed Nurmagomedov's going to win by a fluke decision. And come back to this video because you know what's going to happen. When that happens, come back to this video because I told you so. Sharon Magomedov's going to win. Nikita Krylov's going to win. Dude, put these fights on pay-per-views, okay? And then put Brian Battle versus Ruziboyev on a fight night like that. Tim Elliott versus Kaya Sakura. Like, these are fight night. Jessica Andrade. That's a badass fighter, man. I'm talking. Put these fights on fight night cards. You don't have to put all of these small, really good fights on one big pay-per-view and have no big fights for us. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Gerald Meerschaert versus Michael Olejniczak is a fight night fight. It's an Apex fight. You put that as a feature fight in the Apex, or put it as the fourth fight in the fucking UFC Atlanta. By the way, UFC Atlanta was last week. I did not care about any fight, okay, until Kamaru Usman versus Joaquin Buckley. I had to sit through Miranda Maverick versus Rose Namajunas as a co-main event in a fight night in America when I get fucking Petr Yan versus Marcus McGee as a feature fight in Abu Dhabi. I'm sick of this shit, man. They don't care about us. Dana White doesn't care about us. This is all Sean Shelby and whoever Mick Maynard. This is all them. They're on autopilot. They don't care about American fights. They don't care about American cards. They only care about the Saudi Arabia, Abu Dhabi, and by the way, UFC Baku and Azerbaijan. That's just another Abu Dhabi, man. That's a good ass card. Let me see if I can find it. Let me go to events. These are good. That's a good card. See? Hill versus Roundtree Jr. This is a badass card. Sick main event. Looking forward to that. Sick ass co-main event. Looking forward to that. Curtis Blades apparently doesn't have a picture. Still looking forward to this. Orlbai. Amazing fighter. These are good fights on Azerbaijan. But why does I can't fucking talk. Why does Azerbaijan get a stacked fight night, but Atlanta, Seattle, Kansas City, Des Moines, and all these other fight nights in America can't get these stacked cards, you know? Especially Atlanta. They did Atlanta so dirty, man. They did Atlanta so fucking dirty. It's stupid. It's honestly stupid. Oh my God. I don't even know. This is, by the way, a good fight. Vinicius Oliveira versus Kyler Phillips. I don't even know what to say anymore, man. I don't even know what to say anymore. We're really getting Brandon Allen versus Marvin Vettori as a co-main event in 2025. Co-main eventing a main event that should be main eventing a fight night if we're totally being honest here. Or at least this should be a co-main event of a pay-per-view. You know? I don't even know what to say anymore. We get Hill versus Roundtree this weekend, this Saturday. Amazing card, good fight night card, but it's in Azerbaijan, which is basically Abu Dhabi 2.0. We get Topuria versus Oliveira. This the only fight I'm really looking forward to on this card. I mean, there's other good fights like Alexandre Pantoja, Kaikara France, Beneil Dariush versus Makano, Orval versus Van. But look how fast it turns into Jack Hermanson versus Gregory Rodriguez, man. Vivian Araujo versus Tracy Cortez. That's it, by the way. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fights on UFC 317 International Fight Week, by the way. This just proves that they don't care. This just proves that they don't care about us anymore. 8 fights on International Fight Week when you had months to prepare for this. You had months to prepare for this. Oh, but we can't get Petr Yan versus Marcus McGee at International Fight Week. No, we can't do that. No, they need to be on Abu Dhabi, you know? They need to be on Abu Dhabi as a feature fight, you know? This is what the fans really want. No, the fans want to pay for good fights. Okay? The fans want to pay for Petr Yan versus Marcus McGee. I'm glad we're getting it for free. Don't get me wrong. But instead of Petr Yan versus Marcus McGee, you know, that's where you put, you know, a little Brian Battle versus Ruzi Boyev, right? That's where you put that stuff. That's where you put a King Green versus Diego Ferreira. You know what I mean? Like Movsar Evloev versus Aaron Pico. Put that on UFC 318, okay? Put that on UFC 318. No, but they needed to be a co-main event in Abu Dhabi. Bryce Mitchell versus Saeed Nurmagomedov. This guy's from Arkansas. Bryce Mitchell is Arkansas, and he's fighting as the fourth fight of a fight night.
To talk to you about one of the most badass fight nights of the year, happening live and free on ABC, the network, July 26th from Etihad Arena in Abu Dhabi. Here we go. In the main event, we have number 5 ranked Robert Whittaker taking on Rainier de Ritter. Whittaker.
I can't show this anymore because I get copyrighted.
What's up, everybody?
While I'm here, let me talk about Dana White. Dana White's bald ass does not care about the UFC anymore. Like, let's look at these comments, man. Look at this. Look at these comments. Movsar is undefeated, has beaten Arnold Allen, Diego Lopez, Aljamain Sterling, and Dan Ige, and you're making him fight Aaron Pico. I thought the UFC was about fighting the best versus the best. Brad Carr is 100% right. This guy is 100% right. No way we were getting Volk versus Yair too. Yeah. You know? Strip Jones. Guys, can we please... Can we... Yeah, by the way, Saeed Nurmagomedov is not Khabib's cousin. I mean, you know what I mean, though. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Like, yes, strip John Jones, but, like, guys... Everyone cares about Morocco, apparently. This is just, it's really sad. I don't even know what else to say but at this point. It's really sad to see. I mean, the sport that we all fell in love with is not giving us good shit anymore. And we have to sit through this, and we have to eat it up. Okay? Because they're just going to keep doing this. They're going to keep giving this to us. They're going to keep doing this to us. And they don't care. Chuck, Amir Albazi versus Tatsuro Taira. Yeah. What's the question? Yeah, kid. Best we could do is main event of the Apex. Oh my god. This is what I would say. You ready? If I was in charge of the UFC, I'm not having an event. I'm having 2 fight nights and 1 pay-per-view a month. Okay? Those 2 fight nights are going to be in crowded arenas. No more Apex. Okay? And that pay-per-view is going to be a good pay-per-view. There's no reason why we should be shitting out UFC 312s, UFC 315s, UFC 316s, 18s, 19s. This is going down as the worst year in UFC history, and we have to sit through this and pretend we like it. You guys don't like it. Can we please be honest with ourselves? These are not good cards that they're giving us, man. And if I swear to God, if they announce Yair Rodriguez versus Alexander Volkanovski 2, I don't even know what to do. I don't even know what to do at that point, man. I don't even know what to do. Anyway, that's it. The UFC sucks. Dana White's bald ass sucks. He doesn't care about the UFC anymore. He's on autopilot doing fucking boxing with Turki Al-Sheikh, promoting Terrence Crawford versus fucking what's his face? Terrence Crawford versus the Mexican dude. Fuck, Canelo. He's promoting Terrence Crawford versus Canelo in boxing with Turki Al-Sheikh because he only cares about the oil money. He only cares about Saudi Arabia. He only cares about Abu Dhabi. He doesn't care about America anymore. He doesn't care about Europe anymore. He doesn't care about anything else anymore. He is not the UFC president anymore. He doesn't know what's going on in his own company. He needs to be up there announcing good cards and good fights, man. Anyway, that's pretty much it. We're screwed. Fuck the UFC. I'll see you later. Goodbye.